Mimi Moore is currently the Group Vice President of Resource Management at Huge and has been instrumental in our partnership over the last several years.
Like when you think about Mavenlink and your experience, what were some of the other good things, maybe unique things when you compare it to other experiences that you've had?
We chose Mavenlink because of your professional services team. We identified Mavenlink as a company that has an enterprise level professional services team that has the ambition and the capability to kind of develop alongside us, and we did. So, certainly at the beginning when we were implementing, we discovered some things that we needed that we didn't have right away. I'll use the data loader as an example. We needed a way to move massive amounts of time. And in the first version that we got, that wasn't possible. What has been incredible in our partnership is that Mavenlink has been with us on the ride and said, okay, so we've identified a thing that you need that we don't have yet. So let's figure out how to solve it. And, Mavenlink went so far as to develop a tool specifically for Huge that now we use every day to move time, to move other attributes, changing cost rates, changing bill rates.
What were the challenges that you were facing at the time when you think about like primary objectives, or we like to talk about now outcomes that you were seeking?
We really wanted something that said, okay, I want to be able to push a button and know what's true right now, and then be able to push another button 5 hours from now and see what's changed, or 2 days from now, et cetera. We also really wanted something that was going to be consistent across all of our offices. We weren't necessarily using data consistently from office to office. So we really wanted a tool that was going to help us create a consistent language and a consistent methodology for how we look at data and how we think about data. We wanted it to be linked into our sales tool, which is Salesforce. So having the ability to, again, have those two tools talk to each other consistently and really take an opportunity from inception through to staffing and delivery was really important to us also.
How did you manage like all of these different offices, probably a lot of folks with different reports or tools that don't take my spreadsheet away?
They really see the value of Salesforce a lot more. And one sort of unexpected outcome is that we've seen extreme adoption there too, and people really using that tool more consistently.
But I think it does force a lot more discipline up front to make sure like, hey, to be effective in really planning our resources, like this demand has to be fairly accurate as well. So it really is that end-to-end process.
Another thing that we did to kind of go back to your question about like, don't take away my spreadsheet, we've used Insights. Insights is like a Mercedes, right? So when you open it up, you're like, oh my God, there's so much in here. It can do so much. And we actually pared it down to really only the reports that we felt like we needed for each particular type of user. So a project manager, a finance person, a resource manager has a sort of selected, edited list of insights reports with a description of like what each report does.
So maybe just talk a little bit about metrics and improvements that you've seen being driven with all the process change, transformation, and Mavenlink.
Mavenlink has driven significant change within our organization for the positive. And really the place where that has happened is kind of twofold. The first is that direct connection between our sales tool and Mavenlink. So the fact that we know with certainty kind of where an opportunity sits in the sales cycle, what the probability is in that opportunity, can kind of port that into Mavenlink and make business decisions based on truth of different opportunities, value, all of those metrics that you look for, we didn't really have great visibility into previously, and allowed us to prioritize in places that are of the most value to the organization. The second thing is the fact that we have real-time information. The fact that, quite literally, we can go into Insights, push a button, and find out where our gaps are, where we might be overstaffed, understaffed, and then make real-time decisions based on that information. If a project manager can say, hey, guess what? The project that I thought was going to start next week is actually not starting for 3 more weeks, and we have a team of folks that we can redistribute for that period of time. I've made the updates in Mavenlink, and oh, by the way, it doesn't take the PM that long to do it, because all he or she has to do is drag the little box in master planning. Is a game changer for us. Like, that was an incredibly manual and time-consuming effort previously, and now it's just part of the way that we work. So the fact that information is available to us at our fingertips in real time, and then we can pivot so very quickly and say, okay, great, we've got a team that just surprise is free for 3 weeks. Where can we put them and potentially spend less money on freelancers, or over deliver to a client, or tap into the backlog for a client that we haven't been able to get to?
Other benefits that you hadn't necessarily anticipated or contemplated up front. We would be interested to hear that as well.
The surprise benefit that I always say is we've actually seen a pretty significant increase in timesheet compliance. So if you ask any resource manager, you can ask 100 resource managers what the thing that they like least about their job is. I promise you 99 of them are going to say timesheets. It's, just getting people to do their timesheets is a drag. And, employees don't like doing it. We don't like chasing after them, but it's obviously, we can't do our jobs without that data. Because of the user interface with Mavenlink, because it's so clean and because it's so easy for our employees to do their timesheets, we've actually seen a pretty significant uptick in adoption. And so that just makes everyone happy. It gives me better data. It makes me have to be less grouchy to people and ask them to do their timesheets. And I think it just makes the user experience, especially because it's accessible on mobile, it just makes it easy for our employees to do. So I was never expecting that, to be totally honest. I never thought there was like a silver bullet for getting employees to do their timesheets, but it was a really positive surprise.